Hello everyone, I am back once again, this time with my review on the Transformers Studio Series 65 Blitzwing. So, here we are, there he is. Here is the side of the box. Here's the front, here's the front of the box. There's the background, which, if you want me to get it out, I probably will. There's the front of the box, the side featuring the side of Blitzwing, Voyage Across, and even has 65 on it. On the back, we get Blitzwing. On the top, we get a see-through nothing. On the bottom, we got the Lego Mumbo Jumbo. And on the back, we get the figure itself. Yeah, there we go. Now moving on to the figure. The painting and the sculpting on Blitzwing is amazing. Probably, this is by far one of the best looking Transformers I've ever gotten. How he looks is so beautiful, I just can't comprehend it. Moving down to his, so let's go to his head. His head is nicely sculpted and painted too, with the nice silver accents, and I guess that's supposed to be light piping over there. Maybe that is. Hold up. I guess this was light piping. I don't know if this was supposed to be, but it's not. The eyes are nice and vibrant. His little gas mask, although, kind of annoys me. I don't like the fact that it has see-through orange type looking plastic compared to the box where he had this, where it's silver and red with a red outline on it. Moving down to the wings, they're very nicely painted and sculpted. Even though this kind of breaks the illusion, it kind of works too, which is really interesting. He also has these little missile paws that you can actually remove in the case of parts forming. However, for me, I don't think this type of parts forming is annoying. It's not like a major one compared to something like Earthrise Cliff Jumper, where you have to where his whole trunk is a major piece to the alt mode, which is really sad. But here you just have to tab it in. You can just tab it in or not. Preferably I like to tab it in to add some sort of style, because he looks kind of bland without them. Moving down to his arms, they are very nicely painted, very nicely sculpted too, with I guess the air vents and I guess the tail. I guess this would be probably the tail fins or some sort of fin. I don't know. But it just looks really nice. Moving down to his arms, very nicely detailed with some blocky aesthetic, but at least it still fits. Although this portion kind of annoys me when moving it. His hands are very nicely painted and very nicely sculpted. And moving down to his chest. I don't know what's up with this. I don't know why. If you wanted to, come on, just paint it properly. Also, for some reason, this portion comes up for some reason. I don't know why. Is it like a landing gear? I could be wrong. But it still looks really nice. Some vibrant colors. Excuse me. He also has the he also has a bit of side skirts, which are also adjustable, which is really nice. He also has very nice looking legs. So far, it looks really nice. It just looks beautiful. Although these portions I kind of want to just remove, but they're tabbed in, which is kind of sad. Yeah, so far he's actually really good. And his feet, I don't know about you, the feet look kind of weird. I don't know if I think that's his landing gear, and then it just forms his toes. So that means he can walk kind of properly. Yeah, it looks alright, to say the least. Now moving down to the good stuff. Before the articulation, we have two of his accessories, besides these obvious parts forming pieces, but they're not, for me, they're not major. We have the gun, which you can just simply tab into any of these hands, and there's a slot there that you just tab it into here, and it just looks really, really nice. It just looks really nice, and it actually holds together, which is really cool. And you can also remove these hands, and there's apparently this is a 5mm port, so that means you can add blast effects or whatnot onto it. But let's go a little bit more accurate. Let's just remove this portion. He has the voice box remover, which, not gonna lie, looks really good. You also can see the nice detail in it. Yes, there's slight bits of lack of paint, but I like the detail that his fingers form, his palm forms the blade, while his hands kind of rest on top, where his thumb is also sticking out, which, yeah, it's really nice. Now, moving down to the best part about the figure, the articulation. I think this is by far the best part about the figure so far. Head is on a ball joint, so he can look up a lot, and he can look down kind of a lot, too. Arms swivel, but if you just fold this, you can actually rotate it all the way around, but preferably I like to do this. He also has a swivel, bicep swivel, and it can, in more flapping motion. A slight double hinge at the elbow, which kind of doesn't look straight. A swivel at the wrist, and for some reason, this hand has a hinge, has finger hinges. When I saw that, I was actually kind of worried that this portion will break. There is a waist swivel. However, I think that's what this piece is for. It's supposed to be a waist swivel slightly. Kicks up and back. Well, not that much back. In terms of spread, you need to put these pieces out. So that means you can get some good spread. Thigh swivel, a 9-degree bend, which actually looks a lot really good. And some toe. Some ankle pivot. Posability, I think, is what makes this figure really good. Besides the paint scheme, and obviously I like this Blitzwing, I like this design. This is by far one of my favorite, like, Transformers figures out there. Now let's move on to the transformation. Well, before that, let's move on to size comparisons. Transformation for this figure is kind of hard, kind of easy. For me, kind of hard because it's been a while since I ever transformed any Transformers figures. Well, although I have a few over there, like Primal, that's actually kind of easy. Anyways, so the first step you need to do, remove these pieces, put these pieces down that also pop off, at least this one. Before I go in, there's a QC issue I always heard where this portion always tabs off whenever you're moving the arm. Mine does not have that, and the tabs are actually kind of strong. Although, oh, I just heard a crack. I don't know, that's good. Although it tabs in well, it does have that issue, which is really sad. You fold these wings, you put this piece down, then you move this piece up, then you put the head down, then you put this piece down, then you put this piece down, you close this, swivel it, then moving down to the legs, fold these toes, you're supposed to untab this, and then swivel these pieces down, and then you can also, and then right now you can actually see the inaccuracies with the jet mode, but I won't go into that now, so. Well, actually, not now. Right now, actually, it's kind of easy. Now I think about it. Excuse me. So taking my statement back. Then you put this piece up. Well, actually, before you do that, you tab these pieces together, and this folds there. And then you can kind of see the inaccuracies coming in. You put this piece down, but I think for that, you need to come in here, fold the arms, swivel them. Hopefully they're correct. Put this here, then you turn these pieces, then I think it would tab in. So let me just do that real quick. Do this. And I think this portion is like a some sort of carrier thing. And you just tab this piece. You tab this piece. And hopefully that's correct. And we're almost there. Forgot this piece is kind of loosey-goosey. Doesn't want to tab in correctly. Hopefully this tabs in well. Then you fold down this landing gear. Then you fold these pieces like so. Then you tab, and there's little slots there. You can add the missiles. If you want to see some sort of Starscream thing, I think it can work. And there we go. Here we have the jet mode, which is actually kind of inaccurate. Because the jet from the movie that Blitzwing was, he had the wings on the bottom, and he didn't have this sort of tail thing, which I think you can remove it. Although I think the painting and the sculpting here is amazing. I think the added bits of shading on the top make it look nice. I like the panel lining, looks really nice and beautiful. I know there's this portion which looks terrible, but it looks nice. Even on the bottom, it kind of works. Yes, there's these pieces that annoy me, but it still looks kind of clean. Save for the hands. Same for this piece. This piece is like completely hidden, which is insane. Moving down forward, he has more articulation, more things there, and it looks really nice. I like the overall style. Of course, there's a problem here where his nose cone kind of is a bit loose. It doesn't want to tab in correctly. Hold on, let me try this. Hopefully this works. Yep, it works. And it didn't work. But anyways, it looks nice. It looks clean. You can't fold these landing gear down, which is kind of sad. And yeah, so far it looks really good. Now, I forgot to mention weapon storage. For the Blitzwing, now you can put these pieces on the back of Blitzwing's back in robot mode. But in this figure, but he's in jet mode, there's a little port there that you can just simply put Blitzwing's little voice box remover, and then there's this piece, and there's a slot there, as you could see ever so slightly. There's a slot right there. So you can add that to the bottom to make it look like he is holding a gun. It's kind of unnoticeable, which is very good. Now let's move on to how he looks on the sides. So I don't have any other figures to compare with, but he's roughly around 8 inches long. All right, now let's move him back to robot mode. So buy now, skip, or I guess wait for a deal. I don't know. This I forgot to mention, by the way. Here's the weapon storage. You can just pop this in, and there's a hole back here where you can pop this in. To make it more clean, you can just like do it on the side. Now, why I seem so out of breath right out of the bat? Well, I was looking for this piece. I was looking for it everywhere, and I just found it. So I was legitimately stressed trying to find it. I don't know. I know, right? Kind of stressful. Now, let me just get the little thing. So you just open the box, and you get this plastic tray, and then you get the figure. So I'm putting the packaging off to the side. Putting this figure here. Again, buy now, skip or wait for a deal. I think, overall, this Blitzwing figure is just amazing to look at. This figure is probably one of the best in terms of articulation, painting, and sculpt. Lack of accessories is fine by me, although I wish he came with a bit more. But then again, he never really used that many weapons in the movie. He only used, again, the voice box remover and his gun. But otherwise, this is probably one of the best looking Transformers figures I've ever owned. I like how it looks. I like how it's very nice. Although these pieces annoy me, they're not, but they kind of work. They're not necessarily you want to call it, they're not necessarily mandatory parts forming. They're just parts forming, just not as major compared to like Cliff Jumper. And yes, beware of these pieces, but of the back. But otherwise, I think you should be good. This is by far one of the best, Studio Series figures out there. And if you can find him for a good price, I suggest you get him. Considering he's on the Big Bad Toy Store, yes. But that does not mean if you want to get him for a good price in store, good luck. This figure is extremely hard to find. And what I heard from that toy bro, he's suffering from the Nitro Zeus syndrome. Not considering he's from the same mold, but I actually agree. He's a very good figure based off of a character who appeared only a few seconds in the movie and is extremely hard to find. That's who Blitzwing is. I was so lucky to find him in a flea market. So, I suggest trying to find him in either comic book shops or a flea market, considering, yes, there's a new wave. You can't find this in Walmarts anywhere. But if you want to, you could also get either the new Thrust or the new Starscream figure based off of this mold. So, if you want to, you can get that figure. But if you just really want this figure, I suggest get him in a comic book store, or get him in a comic book store, or get him in a con or Comic-Con, which is where I'm going to go. And if you want to, you could also probably find him online, but then again, you maybe have to go to something like Big Bad Toy Store, because getting him on eBay is pain. And even more on Amazon. He's like $80, $70. I was about to pay that price, but I got him for like $30, which is good. Overall, I give this figure an 8.7 out of 10. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. I'll put the link on where to order this guy. And I'll see you on the next video, which is probably coming soon. Right now, maybe it's going to be a hunt for my figures. What figures I really like. So anyways, I'll see you guys next time on the next review. Bye-bye.